Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging podcast discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Mike D'Ambrosio, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome into Real Estate Radio Live, the podcast series. This is Mike D'Ambrosio with 𝗘𝘀𝗁 Real Estate Services, your Real Estate Radio Live team, real estate professional. And we have Cindy Cary with Starburst Construction in studio today. Cindy, how you doing?
Good.
Good. And this is a continuation of a podcast from the 19th of December.
Well, actually, I'm kind of tired because yesterday was, the holiday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have had a lot of people over.
Yeah, I know. Well,
a lot of dishes, right?
A lot of people. While everyone's resting on the 26th, we're
in
here working hard, podcasting our butts off.
That's right. For you.
For you. So, okay. So Cindy's in. This is part 2 of 2017 construction and remodel trends, home decor design trends. So if you want to listen to part 1, you can go back to the show from the 19th. You can download all of our podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher, where else? And 𝗪𝗡𝗩𝗘.com. That's our website. You can email, and our app too, our RE Radio Live app. You can email me, Mike at 𝗪𝗡𝗙𝗘𝗏.com for any questions or text in 408-630-0101. And you can also check out my website, MikeDCells.com. That's MikeDCells.com for all things real estate related. Okay, so let's get into, last show we, and by the way, we would love to have you guys review our podcast. You can go on to iTunes and review our podcast, and we appreciate all your kind reviews. So,
especially the ones for Cindy Cary.
Yeah, well, you need to get your butt on there and go review. You've been on the show, and you are a show veteran, so we need to get your review on there too. Okay, so from the last time, Cindy, we talked about healthy homes, daylight designs, universal designs, smart everything, and the kitchen.
Yep.
So let's not elaborate too much, because if you didn't listen to the podcast, I want you to go and download it, but that's what we talked about. Anything to summarize from that last show that'll lead us into what we're going to talk about today?
So that was a little bit, that's mostly kind of a design from the standpoint of the building. So an architect, that kind of thing, what an architect would design, or what people are looking at as far as it's not the decorating, it's the design. So we'll talk a little bit today about the decorating, just a little bit more on the design. So again, going back to kind of bringing nature in, bringing the outside in. So bathrooms being built when you have some privacy with your side yard, which a lot of people are using like bamboo and things like that.
Yeah.
So bathrooms being built with full windows. So having that effect of like really bringing nature in. So
it does make a nice effect. We had a friend, Maggie's friends, they live up in Sonoma County, so they're all in a pretty rural part of the air, where their neighborhood is pretty rural. Their whole bathroom has these 2 giant windows that just look out into tree. You feel like you're kind of in a tree house.
Exactly.
But it's really and they have this beautiful like clawfoot tub and in this window, and it's private, so obviously you're not in this tub exposed to the world, but it's really makes it for a nice effect, a nice feeling when you're in the bathroom.
Well, so the other thing that's a design feature in the bathroom, so kind of along the lines that we talked about last time, the smart home, is really the smart toilet.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Those are cool.
Yeah, so, pretty much people are installing them just for the cool factor.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I think some of my friends have them, too.
Yeah. So it's really just about, the toilet seat lifting up and it being lit up, and who knows what else it does. Sing tunes to you. I'm not sure.
You know what's also cool about that house is that they had a wet bar in their bathroom.
In the bathroom?
They had a huge master bathroom. It was a 2-story house. You would love it. It's like modern farmhouse, but it's really a pretty cool house. But they had a wet bar in the bathroom with an espresso and a fridge with like alcohol in it. Oh, wait,
so that's because they don't have to go downstairs.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
So they get up in the morning, make their coffee, or if
mimosas.
You want to have a beer or something like that. So it's kind of a cool thing.
Do they have kids?
Yeah, they do.
Oh.
Yeah.
So probably not too many mimosas.
No, not too many mimosas, but the coffee for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the coffee for sure. So
that's really cool.
If
And
you
I
have
bet you
the
they
space,
have some family swimming parties in that clawfoot tub looking out in the trees.
They probably do.
Yeah.
And they have the biggest walk-in shower I've ever seen. It's probably not as big as the studio we're in right now,
wow.
but pretty close.
That's amazing.
So anyways, if you have the room to do it,
For
you know,
sure.
I mean, let's take a little side trip here.
Okay. Because we never do that.
Yeah, we never do that. But as far as a trend goes, like I've noticed in some of the new construction, they're really focusing on the master suite.
Right.
Because you're the head of the household essentially, right?
Well, and sometimes two master suites.
Sometimes two. Especially if it's a two-story home, you have one on the bottom and on the top. But I've noticed a lot of attention to detail on the master suites in the kitchen, which is one of the things we talked about on the last podcast.
But I think that when you say attention put on the master suite, it's really about the bathroom.
Yeah.
There's not a ton you can do with your master bedroom.
Right.
You know, there's windows, there's shades, there's audio, there's those kind of things, but really all of the luxurious stuff is really in the bathroom.
Right.
So it's about the tub and the shower.
Yeah. With
the, you know, like the dual heads or the rain shower and and the windows and, you know, double sinks and all that good stuff. So, yeah. So that's really, those things have become super, super popular. So one of the things that's making a comeback that I thought was interesting is a Dutch door.
Was a pocket door?
No, a Dutch door is where the top half opens and the bottom half stays shut.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Where though?
I do not know because I, frankly, have not seen any Dutch doors.
Dutch doors. It like going to the outside or?
Yes, so
or
going to the
inside
outside.
House.
So actually, Rania wrote playrooms because that was my thought. When you have young kids, either you want to keep them outside or inside.
Yeah.
And you want to have
You want to
ventilation,
fence them in.
right? So, no, it's true. That was exactly because when I was looking at that, I'm like, really? So, frankly, I have not seen any Dutch doors in Silicon Valley that we've done. That's
hilarious.
I've seen glass doors. No, I take that back. We have done a Dutch door. We did, and they were a young family that were just having children.
Well, we used to have one at the house I grew up in. We had a cabana house, and we had one in the cabana.
Right, yeah. That was just to keep an eye on you guys when you were in there.
Probably, yeah, exactly.
So it was for the kids, too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that is an interesting concept, though. So, like, do you think people are using them for the actual playroom or the actual kids' bedrooms, too?
No, I think they're using them for ventilation. I think they're using it. The house that we did it at was in Mountain View. They're using it for ventilation and to keep the young children in while they were allowing the ventilation.
Wow.
And it happened to be as we get into more mid-century modern, which is a lot of glass, you know, a lot of times they have large panes of glass that aren't operable.
Yeah.
So you need to get the ventilation wherever you can. So that would make sense because you can do a nice window, you know, and have it swing open. So.
On a side note, for all things Dutch, if you've never been to Solvang.
For all things Dutch?
If you've never been to Solvang.
I love
Solvang.
Solvang.
In California, it's awesome.
It is.
It's really a cool place.
I haven't been there
with the windmills and the Dutch architecture, and it's really a cool place.
It's the first place I had ostrich.
Yeah, there you go.
It tastes like beef.
It does. They have a lot of nice wineries, tasting rooms down there.
Yeah.
So that's a mini commercial for Solvang.
Solvang.
People at Solvang can thank me for that later.
Or you said we go everywhere. So people in Holland.
Yeah.
Right. They have tulips too.
That's true. That's true. There's going to be a huge rush of people in Solvang because of the show now. Because of the show, the Solvang City Council they're going to thank us.
They are. They're going to invite
all of the
us.
tourists that are going to go there.
We can be in their parade.
All right. Okay.
And we can wave.
We have a couple minutes before we got to take the quick midway break.
Okay. So I want to cover this because this is very important because you want to have an open window in the bathroom with your cool clawfoot tub, right? But you have to make sure that your side yard is separated. So it's sort of doesn't really fit with this other trend, which is people are making more use of their side yards. So obviously, if you have a bathroom with a window, you're not going to be making that kind of use of your side yard. But people are taking up the landscaping and using it where before they used to just use it for storage. So they're using it for separate sitting areas.
Oh, okay.
For a meditation area.
Okay.
For, herb garden.
Right.
So I have one client who has like a cactus, like we did a whole trellis and we had little pockets, and she has a whole cactus with a drip system,
wow,
on it. So people are kind of reclaiming some of that space. So that's also one of the new trends is taking back, like you said, land here is at a premium.
Yeah.
And so it's using it. So
they're just trying to make it more, and also too, if they have a window looking out into it, making it look more appealing than just a fence or something like that.
Yeah, bamboo's great for that.
Actually, I have a funny story. This happened today. I was doing I do pop buys from holidays or whatever to clients, and these clients that I sold a house to in 𝗥𝗱𝗡𝗡, they have this breezeway between the side of their house and the garage, and they're gonna do some work to the house. It was an older home, and they're probably gonna add on to the house and do whatever. But he told me today, he's like, yeah, that's why I put that bird feeder there, so I had like something decent to look at on this side of the house, and not just this ugly like cement breezeway. I'm like, yeah, the bird feeder
really is.
It really is a nice touch, but it's just a bird feeder, It's kind of
funny.
So,
that is.
But that house, the way it was situated on the lot, it's a long house on a corner lot, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And so they really tried to make the side yards and different things look nice because that's what they're looking at and more private. And so I could see that.
Definitely. And I think people you see are reclaiming part of their front yards that way too by doing like a little privacy fence and then having some sort of and that's super popular with 𝗥𝗱𝗡𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 and things like that. But you see more and more people doing it with the horizontal fencing.
No, and we're going to take a break in just a sec, but just one thing about front fencing that I ran into recently is really look at the codes about that. I mean, a lot of people can get, you can go against what the city codes are, so you really need to make sure you're doing, can you touch on that real quick? Is that
just doing as far as what the fencing codes are, doing your due diligence?
Yeah,
it depends
upon sure it's not going too far.
It depends upon each municipality, and some of them have new codes. And if you change out the old fence, if there was one, you have to meet the new codes. And so it's check with whoever's doing the work for you, or check yourself with your city and ask them what the code is. Because there's height now. I think most of them can only be 4 feet high.
Yeah, and then it depends if you're on a corner and maybe a busy street. Then there's sight lines and all sorts. So fencing, there's a lot more to fencing than you think. And I'm not talking about the sport. I'm talking about.
I was just thinking about on guard.
There you go. All right, we got to take a quick break. Cindy Cary with Starburst Construction is on the studio for part 2 of 2017 trends. I'm Mike D'Ambrosio. Reach out, Mike at 𝗓𝗡𝗙𝗡𝗏.com, or you can text in to 408-630-0101. This is Real Estate Radio Live. Stick around. We'll be right back after the quick break.
For more information on today's program, visit 𝗓𝗡𝗙𝗏𝗏.com. That's 𝗓𝗡𝗙𝗏𝗏.com. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's topic or guests, just visit 𝗓𝗡𝗙𝗏𝗏.com. That's 𝗓𝗡𝗙𝗏𝗏.com. Again, your host for today's edition of Real Estate Radio Live, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome back. This is Mike D'Ambrosio on Real Estate Radio Live, the podcast. Cindy Cary with Starburst Construction is in studio today, and this is part 2 of 2017 construction and decorating trends, and part 2 from the first show we did on this, which was back on the 19th of December, and now we are the day after Christmas. We're doing part 2. We always have so much to talk about with Cindy, so we're having a good time. If you want to if you want to reach out, check in with me at 𝗓𝗡𝗙𝗏𝗏.com. That's Mike at 𝗓𝗡𝗙𝗏𝗏, or you can always check out my website for all things real estate related. And to reach out to me about real estate, you can go to my website, MikeDsells.com. That's MikeDsells.com. And for everything about the podcast and our blog, 𝗓𝗡𝗙𝗏𝗏.com. Okay, Cindy, so let's get back into some of these trends. So what are we going to get into next? Are we talking energy savings programs, or where do you want to go with it now?
Let's talk about decoration.
Okay.
All right, decor. So we'll talk about healthy homes. We started with that last week. We can finish up with that with some of the rebates and things like that. So decor. Pantone, the leader in colors, who I said, I don't know, a while ago when I was here, they usually don't make their announcement until January, but they have announced their color of the year. Actually, I heard the other day, do you know there's a word of the year?
Yeah.
What is it again?
I forget what it is this year.
Surreal?
It's like Webster's comes out with it, right?
What? Word of the year? Like what?
Well, there's a color of the year. Who the heck makes that decision?
I don't know. But, I mean, a color of the year, at least, I don't know, a word of the year, like we've had dictionary and words forever. It's not like they're making up.
Yeah, well, it's whatever's like what word's making a comeback.
Okay, so color of the year is greenery.
Greenery?
Yes.
That's a color?
That's the color.
That's the name of the color.
That is the name of the color.
Isn't greenery like when you have a lot of green around?
Yeah, it's like right behind you. There's a green screen.
Okay.
So it's greenery.
It's called greenery.
Right, and it's along that healthy, right? Let's bring the outside in. And
so is this color from one of the actual big paint distributors?
Pantone has been for years and years and years the authority on the paint colors, and it's based upon fashion and decorating and furnishings and all that good stuff.
Okay, all right, so green.
So green.
Got it.
So the other thing that we're going back to a little bit, which I find interesting, is to brass.
Brass? Really?
Satin brass.
Wow.
Okay, so not polished brass. So you know how you have satin?
Yeah.
Right? So it's a little bit toned down, but to me, that's a really old look.
Yeah, it is.
So, and they're mixing the metals. So you have a stainless hood and a brass faucet.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know
what I think about that.
I know what I think about it, but
I'm a big brushed nickel guy.
Me too. And I like
Maggie
things
always
to match.
makes fun of me because when we first bought our house, like I was like, we got to get brushed nickel this and that.
Yeah.
And she's like, God, there's so much brushed nickel here, because I think she likes chrome a little bit more. But anyways, I digress.
I'm trying to see. I think I have a picture of it. So if I find it, I will show you. So anyways, so brass is making the comeback. Wallpaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Wallpaper, especially to add some texture.
Yeah.
So using several different materials, even if it's not wallpaper. So that was, we saw it last year. And then the trend of doing standout furniture. Mm-hmm. So even using something that looks like a chest of drawers to convert into like your bathroom vanity sink. That's kind of, so we talked a little bit before the show, and I think to me it feels more like a little bit more of a nod back to kind of that Victorian.
Yeah.
So not so much the modern, a lot more plush, velvet, richer colors in furniture, and a lot more like bringing natural elements in. So cork. Do you know how many cork floors I've been asked for? I have not been asked for this many cork floors ever.
Don't those get marked up easily, or
they're real? It depends. So they're much better now than they used to be. But I literally have a client who she does not allow her kids to have their toys on the floor because it could ding up the floor. To me, I mean, that's a lifestyle choice, and to each their own. But you live there, so you want to have something that's going to be hardy enough to withstand your family and things like that. So, but no, a lot of people are going with a cork.
Side question: what is the best flooring for kids? If you have kids, what's the best flooring to put in? Well,
there's an opinion.
Okay, I want your opinion.
So
this is your podcast.
My opinion would be. Well, I would say wood.
Just hard.
I would say wood because wood it's not as hard as tile. So if they fall, they're not going to. I mean, they're going to hurt themselves regardless. Mm-hmm. So people just don't like carpet everywhere.
Yeah.
Anymore. So I mean, obviously, if you want the softest thing, it's going to be carpet. But that's not. Deal hardwood with area rugs.
Yeah.
I think, and that also keeps down the dust and dirt and things like that. So for me, I think I would say a hardwood, except for in the bathroom.
Right. Yeah.
So,
obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks for answering that.
You're welcome.
All right. Where are we going next?
Are you having children soon?
I just might be. So.
Okay. All righty. So the colors, the new neutrals, right? What was the old neutral? Do you guys remember?
Gray.
Right.
Yeah.
The new neutrals are navy and green.
Okay. That dark, huh? Navy's a pretty dark color.
Close to black, which used to be the neutral, or is still a neutral.
Yeah.
They're still doing some white on white, so kind of that whole calm. I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling like the Zen, like you said, a little bit of this.
Yeah, really tree hugger type stuff here.
Well, and they're also definitely going back to like clay, like what do you call it? Terrazzo tile, marble.
Oh yeah.
Like full walls of marble in the showers again, like not the marble of like the old days, like, the cultured pink marble, but I mean actually like some sandstones, and they're not talking about like black and white marble. They're talking about like sandstone, natural colors. Okay. So it's all about going back to nature and those natural colors. So, and then the last thing that I thought was pretty interesting, again, that is kind of an ode to two other things that are an ode kind of to that Victorian, is wainscoting.
Yeah, I like that.
Right? And you've been seeing it more and more, right?
Yeah.
Either with tile or wood. We just did a project where we did chair rail. Do you know how long it's been since we've done chair rail? Yeah,
I'm sure a while.
A while. Yeah, I was shocked.
A lot of people might not even know what you're talking about when you say wainscoting, so maybe explain that.
So wainscoting is where you can do it several different ways. But if you take a piece of chair rail, which is a trim, and then you have a piece of paneling, wood paneling that would be on the lower half, and then the upper half of the walls are either sheetrock. In the Victorian days, they were wallpapered, usually with a floral wallpaper. Sometimes you see it now. A more modern take on it is with a tile, so people can do a tile with a half wall. Yeah. So the project that we just finished, we actually did a chair rail, and then they wanted like a molding. So we did decorative molding that was in like a square in the middle. So
interesting.
My
brother and sister both did it in their baby rooms.
Yeah.
And it looks really nice. And I tried to get that one past Maggie, and I got the 𝗥𝗲𝗡𝗡.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like Maggie. I was going to say your wife, Maggie. Yeah. It sounds like her taste runs a little bit more contemporary than yours.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, just based upon what you've said. Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. So, and I get that because my husband is definitely more of the modern.
Yeah.
And did I tell you, that's a long story, but the story of our paint in our
No, tell us real quick.
Okay, real quick. All right, I'm going to tell a story really quick. So my husband loves the modern style, right? We work on a ton of those houses in mid-century modern. He's like, when we redid our kitchen and our front room, we're doing dove gray. That's the color. Mm-hmm. We're doing dove gray. We have maple cabinets in our family room. We have wood floors. The painter's like, and the cabinet guy, they're like, that's not going to look good. I'm like, and he's like, well, we're not having antique white. So the painter said, antique white would look the best. So I told the painter, I said, just put on antique white. Just call it something different. Just put up 3 samples. Call it something different. So we called it warm white.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So warm white. So there's these 3 colors up there, and we're looking, and my husband picks the middle one, which is antique white.
Nice.
So, yeah, that I can't lie. I have to live with this man for the rest of my life. I have to live with this lie in my whole, what kind of energy is that going to be in the house? So I'm like, honey, I hate to tell you, but it's antique white. What? We are not having antique white. So I will have you know that we now have wedding dress.
Oh.
It's our paint color.
Okay, very nice.
We had to go to the paint store right away. Went to the paint store right away, but it was not the gray tones. So gray tones
well, as
do
long
not
as
go.
it wasn't that, then I guess you pretty much won.
Yeah, I couldn't live with the antique white. So.
All right, good. All right, we just have another couple minutes.
All right.
Anything else we need to wrap up on?
Hexagonal tiles. Those are also popular.
Okay.
So, and then do you want to talk about rebates?
Yeah.
You want to talk about solar really quick?
Yeah, talk about solar.
Okay, so energy efficient rebates are still there, especially in California. I do a lot of speaking for PG&E. We can do another show all on rebates. I think the biggest thing is the federal tax credits for solar. Everybody's always asking about that. A lot of the federal tax credits have gone away for some people didn't even know they existed. For insulation, there was a tax credit, windows, things like that. So the tax credit, 30% tax credit with no cap for solar is good for 2017 to 2019. 2020, it drops down to 26%. I don't know. 2021, it's at 22%, and after that, there will be no more federal tax credit for solar.
Oh, okay. It's done.
Done.
Unless it gets
and in my research, somehow they skipped 2018. It could be a year where they go back and they say, yes, that's going to be retro.
Okay.
I would imagine that it's going to be 30%. But so that's where you're at. People are still saying that it's saving them about $9,000 on their systems.
Okay.
So it's worth it if you buy it. Is not applicable if you lease it.
Got it.
So you have to buy the system and then you get the tax credit. Right.
Okay.
Right. So those are our newest trends for 2017.
All right, very good. Cindy, thank you for coming on.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. Cindy with Starburst Construction. You can check them out at starburstconstruction.com.
Yep.
That's starburstconstruction.com. That's Starburst like the candy.
That's right. Construction all spelled out.com.
All right, there you go. And you can check out anything Real Estate Radio Live related on our website, 𝗓𝗡radiolive.com. You can always reach out to me, Mike at 𝗓𝗡radiolive.com, on my website, �MikeDsells.com. That's �MikeDsells.com for all things real estate related. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks for tuning in to Real Estate Radio Live. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit 𝗓𝗡radiolive.com. That's 𝗓𝗡radiolive.com. Subscribe to our podcast. Discover more at 𝗓𝗡radiolive.com.